My name is Shani Akilah, creator, co-founder of the Black and Brown Workers Collective.
And my name is Abdul-Aliy. I'm a co-founder of the Black and Brown Workers Collective.
What really made us vision the Black and Brown Workers Collective was the reality that the lived material conditions of what it means to be Black and Brown, and especially live on the margins, as LGBTQ folks.
It was also spiritual too, like our connection and talking about ancestor and talking about law. I think for me, it meant trusting the source and trusting that I needed to take action at this time. And I had no choice. Being someone who's HIV positive in a context of nonprofit work made me see things that made it clear that these institutions don't serve us and that I needed to be a part of a movement to disrupt that.
So we have a platform for 2017. There are specific issues that we've been focused on, especially lately more than others. But right now, I would say that the bulk of our work has been focused on workers within the HIV nonprofit sector, specifically Mazzoni, which Abdul, I think Abdul, I want them to really speak to that. They're a former employee of Mazzoni and really led that campaign in many different ways. So I think that, Mazzoni Center and really sort of targeting doctors, Dr. Wynn, I feel comfortable to use these names because this has been public. There was a doctor at Mazzoni Center that was using quid pro quo policies, which, sexual favors for getting certain medications, and he was largely being aided and abetted in his actions because people knew, right? Shani, the CEO of Mazzoni Center, knew of this happening and turned her cheek. Also, though, right, one of our largest campaigns was against racism in the neighborhood. And one thing that we really brought to light was that a number of these nonprofits have CEOs and executive directors that not only don't reflect our community in the epidemic, but also don't seem to really think that racism is real or is something to pay attention to and to be accountable around. And so Shani made it evident that she was not at all invested in making sure that her practices were not anti-Black, right? We're making sure her practices were not perpetuating oppression within that agency. And so we made it a point to demand her resignation. And she has since resigned, right? And largely because of many things Abdul has done. So again, I'm sure they'll speak to this. But that's one of our major pieces. We focus on HIV/AIDS work. We focus on the socio-political causes, right? So we don't believe in our collective that HIV is because somebody, like, Black and brown people are just getting HIV at the highest rates because we just don't know how to act, right? If you listen to some of these agencies, that's what you would walk away believing. But we know that when you have gentrification, when you have mass incarceration, when you have food deserts, there are things that make us more vulnerable to HIV than other groups. And so we focus on those things and raise consciousness around that. We're also doing a lot of work around becoming a cooperative. We believe that Black economic power is more than Black capitalism. We are not capitalists. We're probably African anarchists, probably, socialists in some way, a combination of those things. But we believe in building our own sovereignty outside of a capitalistic system so that we have economic power and political power.